can forward this on to you. So, and then we'll also, we'll try and hold questions until sort of after each product set, and then we'll stop and open up, and I'll unmute people so that they can ask any questions. Okay, now hopefully everyone can see my screen. Please let me know if you're having any issues. There may be a slight delay depending on your internet connection, so I'll try and go through the screen slowly. Okay, so firstly, these windows open on the right, let's get rid of those. Okay, so firstly, users get so focused on all the data that they're putting into their systems that often the reporting gets neglected. So it's very common for me to go out on site with users, and I'll notice that they are extracting information, opening it in Excel, retyping it, putting logos on it, putting footers on it, and then that's they prepare their reports. So what we've really got to do is get to a point that we can free up your time and use proper reporting and analysis tools so that you can get this information out quicker and easier. So we're going to have a look today at a range of products that are available for Sage. There is some confusion around because there are a large number of products available, so we're going to try and help debunk some of that today. But the important thing to remember is that one solution may not be it for you. You may need a combination of tools to get the information out of your system. So it's very important to work out firstly, what do you want to get out of the system, and there are a lot of tools around, so it is really important to do your research. So we'll try and touch on that today as well. So all of these products can be used across the Sage suite. So sometimes we may mention the word Sage X3 or Sage ERP 300, but both the main products that we're talking about today work on either of those applications. Okay, so when we go through these products in a moment, you're going to probably start to have these questions in your mind about, well, how do we work out what's right for us and how do we choose? So in the back of your mind, if you can keep these questions, I'm thinking about actually designing a bit of a checklist so that we can help with this when you start to work out your needs. But you firstly have to go, where is my data going to come from? Is it just out of my one database, or are there other databases in the organisation that may contain information that are important to me? But you have to identify where the data is. So that's usually the first step. Then we need to work out what are the reports that you want, who are you reporting to, who's your audience, and identify the information that you want to get out. It's always important to understand how many people you're trying to distribute this information to. Who needs access to it? Do they need access to run it themselves, or do they just need to be at the other end and get this via a distribution method? So that touches on how will the users access. Do you want them to be able to have like a self-service portal? Do you want them to be able to pull the data rather than you push it to them? So they're all important considerations. Of all this reporting and that, again, how secure do we need to make this? Do we need to make the reports that are accessible have the security involved so that no one can access that information unless they have rights? And then again, how can they, how do they get distributed, these reports? Sorry. And then the other thing that a lot of people don't sort of consider in this is, well, what knowledge and skills do we have? How hard would it be for us to uptake this report writing tool? How can we get the skills that we need? They're important considerations to have as well when you consider the solution that you may be looking at. So we all hear the word business intelligence, and it flies around a lot at the moment. So business intelligence is an umbrella term that refers to a variety of software applications that are used to analyse an organisation's raw data. So it's basically a tool to get your reports out of your system. And I mean, these statistics from the Aberdeen Group are a little bit old now, 2013, but with the data volume growing 56% year over year, the data that we're accumulating is growing and growing, but our reporting may not necessarily be reflecting that. Okay, so Sage did a survey of their customers, and these are some statistics that they realised that 46% of them realised that too little data was used for business analysis. A third of managers say that they needed more analytics to make decisions, and there's some other statistics there. But this one here, it takes 11.5 days on average to be notified of events happening that are affecting their business. Now, 11.5 days, if that's an important decision that needs to be made, is simply too long. So those on the page prior were Sage interviews to their customers. This is Aberdeen Group again, but they consistently line up. So we've got nearly the same statistic here, that 46% of businesses are saying that they don't use enough data for their analytics and things like that. So, you know, when we're starting to look at some of these stats, no one's alone. Everyone goes, oh, we must be us that are just not doing our reporting correctly. It is a company-wide problem and is very much being addressed. Okay, so when I go out and I speak to clients, I speak to lots of different areas and they're all experiencing the same issue, but the importance of those issues varies depending on the tier and where you sit in that organisation. So this is just talking about, you may be in the marketing area and you're feeling like that you're not getting enough information to supply customers with what they're asking for. And whilst you're experiencing difficulties getting information, the CEO is getting a lack of a big picture across the organisation, or people in inventory might be not getting the demand levels right for you to be able to fulfil. So it's across the board thing. It's never one department at a client. So everyone's always struggling, and it's at those different tiers. So very often when I go out to clients, it'll be the finance department that are driving that we need some more reports. But I think it's very important to consider that you need to touch base with every department in your organisation to find out about the reporting needs, because it's not just a general ledger financial thing anymore. A lot of the important key performance indicators are going to be in other areas of your business. So that could help drive and decide what reporting tool that you need, okay? Because it may vary from what the CEO may need. Oops, my mouse is being very sensitive today. Okay, so straight out of the box, these are the two Sage. So Sage 300 ERP comes with dashboards for the portal with the web version, the financial reporter. You've also got some inbuilt inquiries, statistics and crystal reports. Sage X3 has very similar. It's got the dashboards with the portal, inquiry statistics, but they also have the SQL requesters, the financial data extraction tool, and crystal reports. If you're not familiar with any of those and you're using Sage 300 ERP or Sage ERP X3, then please let us know, because they are what you have available to you right now with no extra add-ons or anything else. Okay, so oh, my mouse. Okay, so having said that, they were the out-of-the-box solutions. These are the products that we're going to talk about today, and they relate to both X3 and Sage ERP 300. So we're going to have a little chat, and then we're going to have an overview by Alex of the Sage Enterprise Intelligence module. So I'll probably refer to that as SEI today. Then we also have Sage Intelligence, which we call the Intelligence module. So similar names, but easy to get confused. The Inventory Advisor, and then we'll have a quick chat about Crystal as well. Just going to see if I can close this. Okay, so this is actually a Sage client, and it's a quote that they've had, that information that was difficult or even impossible to bring together before is now available almost instantly with Sage Enterprise Intelligence. It leaves nowhere for the data to hide. So this is the important part about these reporting tools, is that the mentality, I guess, needs to shift from we've got it all in there with no idea how to get it out, should be opening that up to it's all in there. It's just a matter of writing a report or getting it out of there. So it's all available. If the data's going in, it will be available to the users. Okay, that earlier slide where I talked about the different departments and each having their issues, we talked about that the CEO may be having trouble getting a big picture. This is where Sage Enterprise Intelligence could come in. So because of Sage Enterprise Intelligence can connect across all of the databases, and we'll talk about that in a moment, is that they can get to any of the KPIs and self-service analytics. It's real time, so it provides flexible reporting. You can look at statistics and you can get the data yourself. So it's a very self-sufficient manner. And it allows for the collaboration between your business functions. So no longer is it just this is a general ledger report or a sales report. You can actually start to combine and cross departments with your reporting. Okay. So Sage Enterprise Intelligence, it's a single, comprehensive, easy to use BI solution. Its features are generally easy for users to relate to. It has a self-service component, and a big difference with the Sage Enterprise Intelligence product is that it's fully web and mobile accessible. So that's a big positive in this instance. And it has an Excel add-in. So it's not Excel based as a financial reporting tool, and we'll show that in a moment. And then again, it has real-time access, and it can access multiple data sources. So we have a number of clients who they might be using X3 or they might be using ERP 300, but they could have other databases in their organisation, whether it be a payroll database or a time card clocking or something else that they may be wanting to integrate with as well. And as long as it's an accessible database, we can use that for reporting as well. Okay. So the good thing about Sage Enterprise Intelligence is that it's web, and that makes it a very accessible reporting tool for remote and salespeople. It's also mobile, and it has the Excel add-in. Okay, so with the Web BI, it's got a similar user interface that users are used to seeing. You can access your KPIs and your dashboards. You can do budgeting with it, and depending on the module, can have budget right back. It's got distribution modules, and it allows for data warehousing. And this is where Sage Enterprise Intelligence comes into its own, because it's for far larger databases and allowing for warehousing of that data and capturing the reporting more quickly. Okay, so what you're looking at here is Sage Enterprise Intelligence information that's either available on a mobile or a tablet or an iPad there. So it's very easy to get access to quick information, and it's got secure access, and you can set it up so that the KPIs are very simple to look at. So you may have users in your organisation who are not so interested in logging into your systems as such. They just need their few KPIs that drive their day readily accessible. So we can make it available to them. Oops. Okay, so when we talk about the Excel add-in for Sage Enterprise Intelligence, this is also the distinguishing feature with Sage Intelligence, is that it doesn't, the report writing tool doesn't have to be Excel. So there is an add-in that you can purchase as well if you are comfortable with that as a report writing tool, but it is, because of the web-based and the mobile, a different interface. Okay. With the Excel add-in, you can do drill down, and it's easy to consolidate multiple databases. So, and by having it in Excel, it's in a visual way that you, that users are used to seeing it. You can have your graphs and things accessing off that, or it can be looking up or feeding other sheets as well. So it really opens up and makes it a very powerful tool. Okay, we've talked about a lot of those. So what I just mentioned, oh, my mouse keeps going too forward. So when it comes to cost, because we'll just have a quick look at this cost and then we'll go into a demonstration in a moment. So you're looking at a server component of about $2,500 to purchase the Sage Enterprise Edition module. Then, if you wish to do emailing and distribution, you'll be looking at around another $2,500. All the Sage templates do come with for free, so that's good. And then depending on the users that need access to the system, they're the pricing. So this is where the licensing, I guess, can certainly add up if you think that you've got 20 users who may be wanting to use this. These prices today, because of the webinar, we are offering that 25% off, but it's certainly worth, we can look at this with you and put together some pricing for you. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go back and I'm going to hand over to Alex so that he can do an overview of the Sage Enterprise Intelligence. Okay, hopefully this works, Alex.
Hi everyone, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yep, okay. So I'm going to start, okay, we don't have much time. I'm going to show in 5 minutes a little bit of Sage Enterprise Intelligence, okay. As you can see, Sage Enterprise Intelligence can run on a browser, okay, and it can be any browser, any device, okay, one of the nice things of the web interface. Okay, so I will get the user and a password, and with that user and password, I will get access to only some of the data. Okay, it's depending on my profile, I will be able to access all the information or just some of it. Okay, the first thing that we find when we enter the system, okay, it's going to be the command center. On this command center, we will have the different areas that I have for my information. Okay, you can set up your own groups if you want, and then within each group you will have different subgroups, and for each one of the subgroups you will have different reports. Okay, all these reports that you can see here are out of the box. Okay, they are free, as Stacy said, and the only thing that you have to do to open them is just double click. Okay, and remember that this is on Mozilla, but could be Chrome, Internet Explorer, Opera, and so on. And then the information is presented. Okay, as you can see here, we are looking at the customer by sales rep report. Okay, that's grouped by year, sales rep, and customer. Okay, if you want to see the detail of that information, you can just click on the year, and the system will show the information for that sales rep. If you want to see the information of the customers for that sales rep, okay, then the system presents here that information. Okay, but you know, this is BI. What I need here is flexibility. Okay, I want to be able to manage my own reports without having to call the IT person of the company. So now imagine that I want this report sorted by customer. Okay, so or group by customer. The only thing that they have to do is just drag and drop the customer to the first position, and the system will just sort the data by customer, and then within customer by year and sales rep code. Okay, as I do this, imagine that I want to add a new dimension to this new group, to this report. So here we have a list of data that I can add to my report. Okay, normally I will find the dimensions. That's something that I can put to group the data, and then I will have the measures like units, cost, margin, value, and so on. Okay, so you can see that there is lots of options available. Okay, and imagine I want to see this information by quarters, because maybe for my type of role I need to see this information by quarter. So just drag and drop the quarter here. Okay, I see the information by quarter. Okay, and then within by quarter, by sales rep, and so on. Okay, for those finance people on the room, okay, you can see that we have here one area to pivot data. Okay, so if you want to pivot data, it's as easy as dragging and drop the dimension to the pivots area, and the system will pivot the data based on this information. Okay. I can just get rid of the pivot. Okay, another interesting thing that this system has is the ability to present data not just in a tabular format, but we have lots of graphical. Okay, if you are more like a visual person, then imagine you want to see this by bars. Okay, you can see this information by bars. Okay, and you can always drill down into that information. Okay, if you want to see another type of graphic like pie, okay, you can always see pies, and the system shows you that information. Okay, we can go back to the worksheet format. Okay, another interesting thing that is that when you go to customers and they see this tool is that they want to highlight information. Okay, what if you know, my margin is below the 50%? Okay, so I want something that graphically shows me like that I need to pay attention to that. Okay, I can take any of these columns and, for example, create a new column formatting. Okay, that's very easy to do. Okay, imagine that, you know, my condition is about the margin percentage. Okay, and I will do everything that's actually, let's be optimistic. Okay, more than 50%. Okay, I want, you know, thumbs up. Okay, I'm very happy with the sales guy. Let's say red and like yellow background. Okay, so as easy as this, you can see that the system highlights this. And even if I drill down into that year, okay, it's cell by cell that I will see that information. Okay, so I can see which customer is good and which customer is not that good. Okay. In addition to that, okay, another thing that's commonly asked, okay, is the ability to distribute the reports. Okay, to distribute the reports, okay, you have the ability to generate one email, okay, and then schedule that email once, daily, weekly, monthly, or even when something happens that allows you to send this. Like, for example, you know, there is a sales order that's higher than $1 million. Okay, we could automate the report distribution. Okay, this tool, okay, as Stacy has said, it's as well mobile. Okay, so if you want to access this data from an iPad or a phone, okay, imagine that this is my iPad. Okay, I can log in from my iPad and then see the same reports that I was looking at before. Okay, so if I want to highlight this, okay, I can drill down and imagine that you are doing this with your own tablet. Okay, it doesn't have to be an iPad. In addition to that, Sage Enterprise Intelligence has the ability to have dashboards. Okay, so for example, here we can see that we have a dashboard with a couple of reports. Okay, one about like finance information, but the other one is still refreshing. Okay. In addition to that, okay, we could have more than 2 reports. Okay, and even the ability to have, okay, like the information of our customers here on this dashboard. Okay, so we have different reports for this dashboard. Okay, and one of them is one map. Okay, that shows us where the information is, and we have like what normally is called as a slider on any other reporting tool. Okay, and to finish this overview, okay, just to mention here, okay, on the finance part of it, okay, you can see that this tool is not just for looking at data, but you have as well the ability to enter data. Okay, so when you do the enter of data, okay, the system will show you the information, and then you add the lines. And when you add the lines, then you will be able to update that information back to the ERP. Okay, in this case, I'm connected to X3 ERP. Okay, but it could be as well with Sage 300. Okay, one of the advantages of this tool is that you can use it with any of the Sage solutions. Okay, and then sorry, I forgot one thing. Okay, this tool, in addition to that, has the ability to manage data with Excel. Okay, so within Excel, normally we'll get a template. Okay, on that template, it looks normally like this. Okay, so we'll get like different tabs. Okay, on those tabs, one of them it's going to be one menu, and then from there we can navigate to the different information. Okay, so we can get like a finance analysis, income statement, trial balance, okay, a balance sheet, like with different type of data, and even a dashboard with some information regarding our finance data. Okay, all this can be managed from here. Okay, and if we want to create a new tab, okay, from here we just connect to the database, and then the system will generate all that data. Okay, we have the ability to use predefined templates or do field by field and generate the formulas. Okay, that's depending on your Excel knowledge. And that's going to be all for this. Okay, if you need more details, then contact Stacy or myself, and we can arrange like a more detailed demo for this tool.
Excellent, thanks Alex. We're conscious people have only got a limited amount of time today, so they are fast and furious demonstrations. Has anybody got any questions just while we're still at that screen? We can do questions again at the end. Can you find your chat boxes if you do? I'll just have a look, see if anyone's got any. Right, so far so good, I think. Okay, so I'll just grab this back. Okay, hopefully we're back to my screen. So that was an overview of the Sage Enterprise Intelligence. So it's pretty quick, but we're certainly happy to organise another demonstration for you if you need. So now we're going to kind of line that up against the Sage Intelligence module that again can work on both operating systems. So it is an Excel-based report writing tool, and it does ship with some licenses for the Sage 300. It has easy-to-use report templates, similar to those that you just sort of saw in Sage Enterprise Intelligence. The great thing about Intelligence as well, when you line it up against SEI, is that it's not restricted to General Ledger. It can interrogate the purchase orders, order entry, any of those. It can also consolidate against multiple companies or multiple external databases. So as long as it can create cubes, and you can have multi-dimensional analysis of large amounts of data. So if some of your, some clients actually spend a lot of time generating their reports right now because the data just takes so long to repopulate, and then of course if you change the criteria, it repopulates again. Both of these report writing tools have grabbed this data off and makes it very quick for them to be interrogated against. The Sage Intelligence, as I said, is Excel, so it's only limited by your Excel skills. We do find that that's one of the big pros, is that accountants generally do have high Excel skills, so they can tend to pick this up quite quickly. And it does come with ready-to-use data cubes and containers for accessing the data. It also does have security and distribution and scheduling in it as well. It's easy to drill down. There is a new report writer tool for the Sage Intelligence module that allows it to be a little bit more drag-droppy from what Alex was just kind of showing you in the Sage Enterprise Intelligence. So that's an additional extra, but it does simplify this as a report writing tool. Some of the cons against it is it's the licensing and that you need to be very good at Excel to utilise it. And you do need to purchase if you do wish to make changes to the connectors that are supplied, which is the way the data is accessed. For example, you might be using an optional field and it might be in your order entry and you might want to access that. You might need to own a connector license so that you can do that. Okay. Oh, my mouse is sensitive. Okay, so this is that report designer I was just mentioning. I'm not sure Alex might show it in a moment, but it looks a little bit more like you'll be able to drag and drop the columns of data when you're writing your reports. So, but that is an extra feature that you do need to buy when you have the Sage Intelligence module. Okay, so it looks quite similar. We've got all our bar graphs, charting, and things like that, and it fully integrates with the Sage suite. So. Okay, it's familiar to the users. I've touched on that with Excel. You can store and run these reports in a controlled and secure environment, so you can set up your scheduling and you have that drag and drop. So it is an easy to use tool. You can see data from your entire business. You've got your KPIs again, and you can drill down from those reports. So as long as they're being accessed from within the system, once you tend to have distributed them and emailed them off, they are then limited by if that user does have security and access to the system and depending on licensing as to how far they can drill down. Okay, so we talked about that you can do scheduling and automation. Okay, so with the Sage Intelligence, I might have to double check this for the X3, but I know with the ERP 300, it does come standard with the application. You do get one report manager and license, so that most users actually do a lot of reporting without having to buy any additional licenses, because they tend to just use that, they push that license around the organisation. So the finance manager could be using it today and then accounts payable will be using it tomorrow, as long as you redistribute that license. Okay. So the additional costs with it, if you do, there are bundles, and Sage Alchemex, who are the Alchemex Sage Intelligence, have great resources and tools available, and part of when you do make extra purchases with them, it's compulsory that you purchase training. So that's what you can see there, is that if you were to buy more connectors and report managers and viewers, and we can talk to you about why they're required, you do need, this is a compulsory purchase, but you do get training, which is a really good thing, and it's sold to the users as part of that purchase. So it is good. There are great client forums and things for both these applications, the Sage Enterprise Intelligence and Sage Intelligence. So there's lots of resources on the web for these. Okay. So I'll just click back so you'll be able to have a look now at the Sage Intelligence, so you can see the difference between the two. Just give Alex access back again.
Thanks, Stacey. Okay, okay, now I'm gonna show you a little bit of Sage Intelligence. Okay, it's gonna be very quick because it's pretty similar to what we have seen before. Okay, but in this case, we will manage only Excel. Okay, so there is no web option here. So in Sage Intelligence, okay, what actually we have is several tools. Okay, we have an admin tool, okay, that connected to manage different connections to each one of our companies or databases, depending on the Sage software that you are using. Okay, license manager, a lab manager to manage the different cubes that you want to use. Okay, and then the report manager. The report manager is the tool that we'll use to create and design new reports. Okay, Sage Intelligence comes with a battery of reports. Okay, we normally use Sage Intelligence more on the finance side, probably because it's more like an Excel tool, but actually it can be used to access any part of the system. Okay, and then we'll have we have as well a security manager to manage the users and the access that they have to the different reports, and the report viewer. Okay, so when we manage the report viewer, okay, the system In this case, I'm connected to an X3 database, and here are the samples that I got. Okay, this version is a little bit old. Okay, I couldn't upgrade my to the latest version, so I have only these ones, but there is more. The thing that you will do in each one of these reports, okay, as you can see that there is detail on what they contain, okay, and then you will run them. Once you run the report, okay, the system will ask you for some parameters like, okay, which company, which years, which sites, which chart of accounts do you want to see, and the system will show you that information, okay. Normally, the finance pack, that's the one that I was about to execute then, okay, it generates this type of report, okay. As before, okay, we have different tabs, and in each one of those tabs, you will have the different information, okay. So you get to a menu, okay, and then on this menu, you will have like the options to navigate to the different tabs, okay. When it comes to the tabs, you will have access to the income statement, okay, and this can be by month, comparing month by month, or even with previous years and accumulating data by groups, okay. All these reports are very easy to modify, okay, and when you do the distribution of them, you can distribute them just with the numbers or just taking the formulas from the ERP source, okay. We have here another one for the period, okay, gross profit and revenue trends, okay. So this is one example of a report, okay. But as I said before, okay, we don't have to just manage finance information. If we want, okay, here we have, for example, sales dashboard, okay, containing top 5 customers, top 5 product categories, top 5 sites, okay, sort by value, and then, you know, the system provides all those sliders that we can use to see, okay, maybe I want to see just this salesperson on the month of January on the first quarter, okay, exactly the same, okay, and actually, here, then we should get another tab that gives us the ability to do exactly the same operation as we do in Sage Enterprise Intelligence, okay? Like that extraction using the report designer, so where you set up the columns and the lines on your Excel spreadsheet and the filters, or you can do cell by cell using a formula wizard, exactly the same that we can do the other two, okay? And because we're running out of time, I'm going to stop here, okay? Stacy?
Sorry, I had muted myself. I'm just back now. I'll just grab that back. I know lots of people that wish they had access to my mute button. I'm just going to... Okay. Excellent. Now, have we got any questions? I'm just going to look down the list there. Show my screen. Right, we've still got a quiet bunch, I think. You must be covering it so well, Alex. I just don't have any questions. Okay. So, now, this leaves us at the question, Sage Enterprise Intelligence versus Intelligence. You're probably thinking what you've seen, both powerful report writing tools. How would you make your decision between those now? So what I'm going to do is just have a little bit of a comparison of them for you. Now, so when is Sage Enterprise Intelligence a possible fit? So you'd consider Sage Intelligence. So Sage Intelligence is the second one that we saw. Sage Enterprise Intelligence is the first one. So it has a lower price point. The Sage Enterprise Intelligence can handle larger volumes of data. If you've got budgeting and forecasting, that's where we'd send you down the lines of SEI. And also not on that slide, but probably if you're more wanting to go the mobile web route, that's an important distinguishing feature between the two. So this is where Sage see that their product suites fit. So as these go up, the usability and the functionality are going to obviously increase. So the Sage Enterprise Intelligence is the flagship product, Sage Intelligence, and then the core financial reporting tools that come with the product. So financial data extraction tool for X3 and General Ledger Financial Reporter for ERP 300. Okay, I've talked to users before that they go, hey, both of them might fit. Some of our users in the GL area might really benefit from just using something in Sage Intelligence, but we might have some reports that we're going to put into Sage Enterprise Intelligence because it's important for our salespeople to have that mobile. So, it's not out of the question that both of those products might be something that you could consider. Okay, so this PowerPoint I can make available to you, but or if anybody wants to talk about it, we can talk about which one might fit better for you at a later stage. So we talk here that if it's mainly for finance driven, that Sage Intelligence is the best fit. If you're looking at a combination of more operational modules, then either could, but if their users don't want to be tied to Excel and they want more functionality, that's where you're going to look at the Sage Enterprise Intelligence. And again, at the executive level, either could fit, but it's going to depend on that Excel or web based need. And then also, obviously, cost is an important consideration. Okay, what we're going to do is have a quick look at another product for those that are inventory based. It's called Inventory Advisor, and it's about being able to quickly look at your stock and make decisions based on inventory. So it's to help minimise stock outs, reduce the time spent on planning and forecasting, and this is another tool that we add into those reporting suites because we think it's important for users to have this information readily available. Okay, with this product that Alex will show in a moment, there's a cost to implement it and then a monthly subscription fee. So it is slightly different than some of the these other ones that are in the range. So we need to talk to you about the costing of it. Okay, so I'm going to hand back to Alex now just so that he can show you the Inventory Advisor module.
Okay, thanks, Stacey. So as you can see, Sage Inventory Advisor is another web tool. Okay, in this case, I'm running it from Chrome, but it could be as well any browser, any device. Okay, actually, it looks very, very good when you run this on a tablet. Okay, as before, you will get user and password, and that will limit your ability to see more data or less data. Okay. Well, first of all, okay, when we enter the system, the first thing that we see is a dashboard. Okay, on this dashboard, we'll find different KPIs that we'll go through in a moment, and some additional information. Okay. On the top of the screen, we can see the analysis is done by days, weeks, or months. Okay, so what this tool does is takes your inventory information, your historical sales information, and analyze that. Okay, and as a result, you see this. Okay, you can see this information as a total of all your warehouses or one by one. Okay, here this is my current warehouse. Okay, I could change this to another one by default, and then I see my 6 indicators. Again, these 6 indicators, I can see what's my stock holding. Okay, so my current stock levels. Okay, if the system analyzes if I have any excess stock. Okay, if I have surplus orders. Okay, so this means that the system checks my inventory levels, and if I have too much stock of a product, and in addition to that I have already purchase orders, okay, the system will give me that message like, oh, these products you should not order them or delay the sales or the purchase order. Okay, then the system analyzes as well the filling rate, the stock outs, okay, or lost sales and potential of stock outs. Okay, so that's a lot of information that we have. For each one of these indicators, the system shows us what's the model. Okay, so my optimal situation and my current situation. Okay, in this case, you can see that they have a difference of $2 million, which is quite important. And for that, okay, I have a top 5 products in each one of those categories. Okay, so for example, here is quite representative. If you analyze the purchase orders that you shouldn't have, okay, you can see that these 5 products, okay, made a total of $500,000. Okay, that's just the half of my total surplus value. Okay, so this means that if I work these 5 products, okay, I will reduce to a half these excess purchase orders that I have. Okay, the same with my lost sales. Okay, 10% of my lost sales come from these top 5 products. If I work these 5 products, you know, I will be able to reduce that significantly. Okay, and we could talk about each one of them, but probably we don't have enough time. Okay, the idea is in each one of those products, okay, you can analyze and open in a new tab all the information product by product. Okay, so the system will show you your historical information for that product. Okay, filling rate, forecast. You can adjust the forecast for this product. Okay, so the system will show you your historical sales, your current forecast, and the calculated forecast. Okay, and from here, if you want to adjust that because you know that you have an event or something, then you can adjust that manually. Okay. In addition to that, what else do we have in this tool? We have lots of options. Okay, but what we want in this case is just to analyze data. Okay, so I can go to my location specific for Chicago and do my inventory classification. Okay, so what the system is telling me here is that I have this ABC classification on each one of those groups. Okay, ABC is based on the value that those products are providing to me. Okay, and the system is analyzing as well the rotation of those products. Okay, high, medium, or low. Okay, all this information we can see together quadrant by quadrant, and you can see, for example, here I have the products that high demand. Okay, but they don't provide that much value, which means that, you know, I need to have them. Okay, they don't provide much revenue, but my customers, because I have them, they come to me. Okay, otherwise, if I don't have them, they will go to someone else. Okay. If you want to see this graphically, we have the option to see this matrix graphically. Okay, so you can see that here the products that I don't want to have and they don't have a high demand. Okay, are a lot. Okay, but when it comes to value, for example, they are not that important. Okay, the important bit is here the products that I want to sell and provide a high value. Okay, and when it comes to demand, okay, you can see that this is slightly different. Okay, in addition to that, okay, you can see this matrix for based on different groups and totals. Okay, each one of those totals, you can just see the detail of that, looking at the list of products that perform that rate. Okay, and you could see as well from here, we can go and see all the forecast. Okay, we can amend the forecast manually, product by product, or we can manage the forecast warehouse by warehouse. Okay, one by one, and the system will analyze our under forecast items and over forecast items. Okay, if I'm selling more of what I forecast, this is important because, you know, I get potential stock outs. Okay, and if I'm not selling enough of these products, probably I'm creating a demand for products that actually I'm not selling. Okay, so the system does a very good job analyzing all that information and giving me this information this way. Okay, and yeah, if you want to see more, just contact Stacy and we can organize a better view of this tool.
Excellent. Thanks, Alex. Okay, I think we're still questionless. I'm just going to scroll down. Yep, doesn't look like there's any questions still. Okay, back to my screen. And we're nearly there, just conscious of the time that people have committed to the session. So we're just back on, so that was the Sage Inventory Advisor, so important for those with stock. So as Alex mentioned, you can have a chat with us and we can organise another demo if you'd like to see more. Now, the other thing that clients are always talking to me about is, well, where does Crystal fit in now with these report writing tools? And it's important to touch on it. For both applications, the X3, CRM and Sage ERP 300, it is the tool that is utilised for modifying specifications and things. So whether it's your invoice layout, your statement layout or your check layout. So it's still required. Whether users own a license of it or not is dependent on whether they wish to do editing themselves. It is an ODBC compliant tool, so it can interrogate any data, which if you've been using Sage for some time, you are probably have got a mass of these Crystal reports, because it was how that you used to get access to anything that was inventory, purchase order, sales order related. The financial reporting tools were always just for the general ledger, so we had to use Crystal to get any other information out. The pro is for it that you can run the reports inside or out of Sage. You doesn't have to utilise a land pack if you've got reports. The hard part is that users do find it difficult to use, mainly because it's very database driven in that you need to connect tables and know where the data is, and there is no simple way for users to learn that without just having to sort of play with the reports and things like that. On the web there are some listings of what tables are what tables, and Sage do make available both in X3 and ERP 300 the table dictionaries, so that you can see field names and have a look, but it still means it is a difficult tool to use. It's not an expensive tool. You can certainly purchase a license for about $840. Government clients can sometimes purchase that cheaper. But it is an important tool in your existing suite, and whether it's the consideration that these reports will probably need to be converted across to something else, or you continue to use this. On my larger sites, what I'm finding, Crystal just can't handle the size of large databases. It's a very slow reporting tool, and especially if you want to just change the criteria and rerun the report, this is where Sage Enterprise Intelligence and Sage Intelligence are going to beat this product hands down. Okay. Okay, so we've just touched on the Crystal. Again, I can show people that one if they want to later, but I just wanted to mention that with the Sage ERP 300 product, that you do have your financial reporter that ships. You're all very used to seeing that. You're probably running the standard balance sheet and profit and loss, so that is your option there. But I did want to just use this opportunity to remind people that Sage 2016 is coming, and I'll just show you some screens of that in a moment. So with the financial reporting tool that's inside Sage ERP 300, you can do drill down. It is only general ledger specific. You don't need to make any additional purchases. There are about 20 sample ones supplied, and users tend to just open those up and make modifications to that. The training costs are low. I usually find that users within sort of half a day's training can start writing their own reports, but on the negative side, it can only access the general ledger, so you won't be able to use it for any of your sales reporting or inventory reporting. You can only drill down from in the report writer itself, so it loses some of the functionality, and it uses a Sage license. So, but there are no additional costs. Okay, just wanted to show you this screen that's coming. It's the new web portals for Sage 300. So you'll be able to display your KPIs and things on the front dashboard. There is an existing portal already, but this is a new one that's scheduled for release probably late this year, early next year. So that's your first look at that. It's going to look a lot more like the X3 products for those that are sitting there, with a menu down the left. Now, I also did want to just take this opportunity to talk about the fact that there are a lot of business intelligence tools on the market, and it's certainly, you know, clients should do their research, and if you do find something and want to find out how it can talk to your Sage, definitely come back and talk to us. I've just listed some there. There are a lot of tools, okay? So the advantage of the Sage Enterprise Intelligence and Sage Intelligence products is that they've done a lot of the mapping and formulas and things for you. So some of these other ones will require some, whilst they look slick and easy to use on the front, they'll require quite a bit of tweaking to actually get access to your information. So for example, a net year-to-date field that we've already got mapped in ours, you may have to create a formula for that. So it's just something to consider, but please, there are, you know, you can certainly look at other options. Don't feel that we're sending you down this is the only path. We just want to make sure you've got as much information as possible. Okay, so if you do find something on the web, feel free to ask us about it and we can investigate it for you. Okay, as mentioned in all the webinar stuff, if you guys do decide to make a purchase up until the end of September, Sage have graciously allowed us to offer you a 25% discount on these reporting tools, so it is restricted to that. So if you have anything that you'd like to ask us about, please do. Please do it soon to take advantage of this discount. We can offer training in any of these modules. Sage also have Sage University, which has online training courses. So there are lots of options for you to get for training and things like that. Okay, what we might just do is I will just open this up now. We've had some users leave, which is absolutely fine, but we've gone through the session as we wanted to. Just going to unmute everybody there, and if anybody's got any questions, that we've put them all to sleep, Alex. Anybody still there? Might have any questions? No? If for some reason your audio is not working, you can use the chat window to type in any messages if you need. Okay, so that was a pretty fast and furious flow of those options. We can certainly do more detailed demonstrations, but if there's no questions, good stuff, Alex. We did it and they don't even have any questions. So it means they'll all buy it tomorrow. I don't know if anyone's still there. Either that or I'm talking to myself. That's fine. Thank you for your time, everyone. And thank you to Alex for his time today. It was good for him to do those demonstrations.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Stacey.